Air Force One has just landed at Palm Beach International Airport. You're looking at live pictures as President Donald Trump is set to head back to Mar-a-Lago tonight. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Felicia Rodriguez.
And I'm Tiffany Kenny. We have live team coverage tonight of President Trump's visit to South Florida. Traffic anchor Yasmin Julmus is tracking the latest impacts for anybody out on the roads.
First, we want to go to our co-anchor, Todd McDermott, who is joining us live from Palm Beach International Airport. Todd?
Well, Felicia, Tiffany, we have been here before 8 years ago. When Air Force One lands, they don't tell you that it's going to land. It just comes down at PBIA on the runway and then wheels around. You see the jet stairs being rolled out. This is President Trump's second trip back home to Palm Beach since the inauguration, January 20th, when he took office last month. Again, Air Force One just arriving at 5:50. You saw it live during our 5 o'clock newscast. The president is here to host the Senate Republicans, senators and their wives, at a dinner at Mar-a-Lago before their National Republican Senatorial Committee meeting. The annual winter meeting is at the Breakers this weekend. And again, that's a fundraiser. Senators in attendance as long as key donors. And let me step out of the way here for a second so we can get a better look at the door and the stairs. I'm going to step off. And you see the press, etc., and staff. Can you hear me still? I apologize if the engines are too loud. Again, the senators will be at the Breakers this weekend. We do know that we expect Florida Senator Rick Scott, as well as the U.S. Attorney General Ashley Moody, the former Attorney General of the state, are likely to be at this dinner in Mar-a-Lago. We believe that Secretary of State Marco Rubio is still traveling. Now, we know from experience that there are a lot of closures. This is a quick move they make with the motorcade. They've done it many, many times during the president's first term, and again at his visit last week, his first after returning as the 47th president. I'll give you a chance to just watch what's happening here as the limo pulls up. There is the Beast, which is pulled up right to the edge of the jet stairs. And in just a moment, we should start to see people emerge from the main cabin.
Can you have audio boost?
One question you may have is whether there are supporters here. In years past, during the president's first term, there was usually small phalanx of supporters of the president who would be allowed on the tarmac behind a barrier to at the very least, wave at him. This time around, the feeling is different. There is a small group of press here for the arrival of Air Force One. One of the factors that's always interesting when the plane arrives is to see who actually disembarks with the president. Will there be family members here coming in who are in Washington? Will there be members of his staff? Will there be members of the Florida delegation who will be here? We have seen Senator Rubio, back when he was Florida senator, actually ride on Air Force One. Other Floridians may also be on board, but we won't know until they start actually walking off the plane. As Tiffany mentioned previously, this is a quick trip. And there he is. There's the President of the United States, the 47th President, walking down the stairs to enter the presidential limo, giving a wave.
Administration on leave tonight. That judge saying a limited, quote, very limited order, temporarily pausing that plan that would be handed down. Those 2,200 folks at USAID.
There's the traditional salute.
Be on leave starting tonight. No longer the case. We'll stay on this.
And the president is looking at the assembled press off to one side who traveled with him. And now he is making his way into the presidential limousine. Again, that's about a 5-minute ride to Mar-a-Lago. Dinner tonight, and as was mentioned, President Trump will be going to New Orleans on Sunday. All right, let's go to Yasmin Julmus for a look at the traffic situation here. As you know, a lot of roads are shut down. Yasmin?
That's right, Todd. We will watch President Donald Trump make his way from Palm Beach International Airport to Mar-a-Lago, likely via Southern Boulevard. Already seeing slowdowns in the area, and it will completely shut down, which means you'll have to use alternate routes such as Belvedere Road or perhaps Forest Hill Boulevard, those alternate east-west routes this evening. And that also means that we'll see even more traffic on those roadways. Todd?